As you may know, Generation Alpha may be the most intoxicated generation on their phones, following Gen Z. You've seen those videos of those 3, 4, 5-year-olds on their parents' phones or their own iPads, sucked in entirely. It's like they don't care about anything other than that. And whenever it's taken away by their parents, they act like they just lost the thing they love the most, their screen. If you've seen those videos, you know about the TikTok Get Ready With Me 8-year-olds who showcase Sephora products and those 10-year-olds who completely demolish the test products there. It's like they don't care. I'm not saying this doesn't also go for my generation, Gen Z, who, in the miasma of TikTok, Instagram Reels, and whatever else, worry about stuff that just does not matter. What I'm saying sounds like generational shame, but the younger generation these days has the luxury to waste, worry, and bash things that just don't really matter, and it goes for my generation as well. I'm not saying those worries are invalid, but just imagine the people in third world countries worrying about stuff way more important, like what to eat during the day or whether they're safe or not. I know this doesn't apply only to third world countries, as first world ones have their problems as well. So, I went to the Philippines a while back with my family to visit our relatives. It was a while ago, but the most I remember is that we were in the province going to church, and I saw all these people selling flowers on the side of the street, which is nice, but it was probably one of their only sources of income, and since we were in the province, people were more likely to be poorer than those in the cities, since they didn't have a larger source of jobs. And the jobs that would pay weren't enough, more often than not. If you didn't know already, there's a large wealth gap in the Philippines that restricts its low-income citizens to earn the amount they need to live comfortably. In some big cities like Manila, they even have to sift and organize trash from restaurants to make bugbog, which is rewashed, recooked chicken or whatever meat they find in the trash to make it the food again. It's not recommended to eat, obviously, but those who live in the slums of Tondo and in Happy Land, the biggest slum in Tondo, Manila, call it delicious and great for the stomach. There's one woman there who cooks bugbog adobo, bugbog galareta, and a few other dishes native to the Philippines. That's only covering the jobs and things people have to do to make money. If you didn't know, the Philippines is right on the path of the Ring of Fire, which makes it more susceptible to typhoons and earthquakes. While I was there just a few months ago, a 5.6 magnitude earthquake hit the area that I was in Mindanao, the largest and southernmost island of the Philippines. While the hotel's power stayed on, others weren't so lucky. There was a shopping mall not too far from where we were staying, and there were visible cracks on the walls, and it looked like they had just repaired the stairs to the second floor. Since we were in the Philippines, a tropical archipelago, it rained a lot while we were in the province, and the floodwater eventually reached the big city of Mindanao, Davao. On our way back from the province, we saw many gaps in the roads, like literal gaps that led down 10 feet or something like that, without warning beforehand, trees that were engulfed by water from the rain, and small houses as well leading back to the city. The roads weren't doing so well either. Some parts of the road were maybe 2 inches deep in floodwater, and I didn't see a good drainage system as well. Anyways, from that whole story, what I'm trying to say is that just imagine putting yourself in a place where you have to deal with natural disasters, frequent power outages that might last for days, being with a job that doesn't sustain you, living in a shack that quite literally is handmade, and not knowing when your next meal will be. That wouldn't be so good, would it? Now, all of that story isn't to say the Philippines isn't a wonderful place. The people seem to be very happy there with what they're given, and very friendly with those around them. Obviously, I haven't spent enough time there to know what it's like in, Tondo, Manila, and my knowledge of that place only extends to videos of people who've actually been there. Comparing the endurance of the Philippines' natural disasters and power outages to a first world country like the US is vastly different. Whenever the power is out in the US, there's always that one person who wants to complain to the power company, saying that they're doing a bad job since the power hasn't been on for so long, and that they should be fired or something like that. This doesn't imply that first world countries don't have their own problems, but the immense difference between a college society and the one that has the biggest burdens goes to show that the people who are given all the things that they could ever need — food, electricity, water, a roof over their head, a place to sleep that won't fall down in the next 5 to 10 years — complain more than those who aren't given those things. Those who are poor in the Philippines aren't asking for reparations for things that they're entitled to. They honestly make their money doing something to provide for their family, for themselves, and for those around them. At the same time, there's also the argument that it could always be worse, which brings up a few things. 1. Everybody has their own problems, whatever level may be. And 2. Just because somebody else is doing worse than you doesn't mean that you don't have problems either. Well, that's all I could think of to talk about today. Adios and sana all.